saw him in Portland too. Yeah. Where we were like walking around and we're just like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I mean, I like Legacy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I decided I wanted to come out and visit some family and maybe top 8 Legacy tournament again.
Right.
So
don't want the Tundras to collect dust. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure they get their exercise or whatever.
Yeah. So he flew up. He's seeing family over the weekend, and giving beats as usual in Legacy.
Yeah.
With his Sensei's Dividing Tops and his portent. It's a portent, singular portent. Yeah. Which we will definitely bring up on the screen at some point. That's always a nice one to bring up.
Yeah.
It's good and ugly.
An oldie but goodie.
Yeah, it's good and ugly. The artwork's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's a picture of. It's just ugh.
I think it's someone like kind of meditating or something along those lines. But there's some loose art in Ice Age, man.
Taking a look at that's definitely true. Taking a look at Joe's deck list. He's made some modifications. As I said, he only has 3 Force of Wills. He only has 3 Swords of Plowshares. Some newer cards that have joined his deck include one Supreme Verdict and 1 Detention Sphere. Along with his normal base, you're going to find his 2 Glacial Fortresses here, as well as a hedge against Choke. Even though Choke isn't seeing a ton of play right now, I still do like both of those. 6 basics in his deck as well, so if you're anti-Wasteland like Patrick, this is a pretty nice spot for you to be in as well.
Yeah, I mean, my prices against him were horrendous.
Yeah.
In our games.
As we do see a filthy turn 1 island as well.
Oh, he loves the revive. He had a disgusting revised unsummon on camera the other day during the standard portion.
So both players look. Go ahead.
It's so classless that it's actually kind of classy.
Yeah, it really is. It's not like he's just changed these. He's been playing these forever with this deck.
Right.
Both players look like they've kept their 7. Corbett deep in the tank on turn 1.
Yeah. The Wrangler genes of basic lands.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard it here first.
I don't know. So we had to have Ancient Tomb plus Petal if we're thinking this long, right? Yeah.
I feel like that's a dead giveaway. There's the Ancient Tomb, and then there's Lotus Petal. I mean, he can just move in on turn 1 and hope it's good.
Yeah.
It's very risky against this deck, and I'm assuming that Corbett knows that Joe is playing, Blue-White Miracles. Now the question, of course, is what counterspells what counterspells does an island represent in Legacy?
Pierce and Snare.
And Daze.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what Joe's playing, then Daze is pretty safely off the table.
Yeah. We're gonna see a show and tell here. Joe, are your pants down?
I think he has a Oh, he has a Pierce.
Yeah, he has Pierce.
Sorry.
About that whammy.
Wow.
Misdirection from Corbett.
Look at this hand.
Right back in Big Earn's face. This is a good turn.
I think we have a Jace the Mind Sculptor in our hand though.
And he did, and he, as our show director tells us, he pitched a Brainstorm. Now you can't put.
Right. It's not templated. It's not templated for that. That's right, because it predates Planeswalkers.
Corbett pitched a Brainstorm to the Misdirection as well. So Misdirection, for you guys at home that haven't seen it for a while, it's kind of an interesting interaction with counterspells. He actually misdirects the Spell Pierce over to the Misdirection.
Yes.
To counter it. It's like a nifty way of going about countering it.
Right.
It's like basically an additional Force of Will in this deck. But Corbett's opening 7. That means it was Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, Misdirection, Brainstorm, Emrakul. That's 5. And then 2 other cards.
Which are in his hand right now.
Yeah.
What are you tanking for, though? Come on, Corbett. It's like you can't play this deck and then drop the Nutter Butters on the first turn.
He's allowed to think about it. I'm okay with him thinking about it. And we're going to see a Brainstorm here. I think Joe's going Caracas, Counterbalance. What do we find?
Yeah, I found a Flooded Strain. I think so. I think that means we're dead.
He's not dead. He just goes no permanence and 4 life.
Sure, I guess he could. He still has Caracas as a draw.
Yeah, like if I'm Joe, did he main phase that Brainstorm?
No, it was at the. Oh yeah, I guess he did.
No, it was on the end step. So if I'm Joe there, I do whatever with the Brainstorm, put the stuff back, put Flooded Strand in place, say go, shuffle, and then if I peel Caracas, I might be okay. It's unlikely. I mean, he only has 1 Caracas, and he's drawing you a 1-outer, but it takes what 3 more minutes to go through said iteration.
Yeah.
So, I think I sit through it there. But as both players are smiling there, Joe Lossett down a game relatively quickly.
Yep.
Welcome to Legacy.
Yep.
If it's your first time watching.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
I got a Spell Pierce and some Brainstorms and stuff. I'm probably pretty good against this combo deck. No, you weren't even close.
Yeah.
You weren't even...
Yeah. At no point was this going to be a game. Taking a look at Joe's sideboard, we see a Seal Cleansing. A card that could be joining us because I'm relatively sure that Corbett is still playing sneak attacks, correct?
Yes.
It depends on if Joe knows that that's going to be happening, of course, because he only saw a couple of cards that game. Which is not for the rub-ins, I promise, Joe. He has a disenchant as well that could be coming in, and a detention sphere, which does take care of Emrakul as well. Proffery Nodes, not so much. Relic of Pretenders, not so much. Rest in Peace, no. 2 Baneslayer Angel, no.
Show and tell on the Baneslayer.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty good.
Enlightened Tutor can search for the Seal of Cleansing, 2 Red Elemental Blast, which can counter Show and Tell. A Pyroblast does the same, and then the additional Force of Will in the sideboard.
Okay, and on the other side we have 2 Red Blasts and 3 Defense Grids.
Okay.
Which I'm sure will be making an appearance here. 2 copies of Echoing Truth that seem not very good. Through the Breach, which is that for like other Show and Tell decks?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for.
So you can cut your Show and Tells?
Yep.
And then 4 Leyline of the Void. I always forget that Show and Tell is not permanent in Laundry List, so it's not backwards compatible.
Yeah. Somehow, I mean, it does dodge Jace. I think the deck would be significantly worse if you could put Jace into play off of it.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
Comically worse.
Corbett with a pretty nice. I mean, that is the. If I was drawing hands like that, I would definitely see the charm of playing the deck that Corbett is piloting.
Draws like that a lot. I watch it happen quite a bit. No, but he does actually know how to pilot quite well with this deck. There are some fun interactions with this deck. I've seen Corbett on multiple occasions do the Show and Tell, put Sneak Attack into play, and then Sneak Attack a guy through, which is sometimes just actually a correct line of play, which is strange. But you know, there's definitely some things going on with the Sneak and Show deck instead of just, yeah, man, Show and Tell, and hope it's good.
Yeah, Sneak Attack gives you some durability against Caracas.
Yeah,
that's the big thing there.
Yep.
Is you go with your Emrakul. They can't allow you to annihilate, obviously, so they had to do it before you declare attackers, and then you can re-up your Emrakul.
Correct.
And close them out. So.
Yeah, I mean, even though it is a pretty straightforward combo deck, you know, it has its cantrips and Ponder and Preordain and Brainstorm. It has its Force of Will and its Misdirections to protect itself, and then, you know, it's big Dum-Dums and Grizzlebrand and Emrakul, and its way to put it into play. There's definitely some play here to the deck.
Yep. Also good for Corbett in the matchup is this, as far as combo decks go, this is one of the more durable ones against Counterbalance Top. This is all about 3s and 4s. He has, you know, his fair share of cantrips and whatever else. I'm not saying Counterbalance does nothing, but he can certainly go off into the face of a Counterbalance if he has sufficient 3s and 4s and 5s.
So Joe's going to be on the play this game, and it didn't help him last game, so hopefully it'll help him this time.
What's up with the 3 Ancient Tomb, 2 City of Trader split in Corbett's deck?
You got to talk to the man himself.
Okay.
I don't know the rules on the 5 double lands.
It feels like one of them has to be the better one for whatever reason, and then you play.
I don't necessarily think that's true.
I guess because you want to draw one of each is ideal. So you'd rather have a 3-2 split.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely don't think you want 4 Cities of Traders because of the awkward draws. And then having 4 Ancient Tombs just means you get lit up some games from your own card.
Yep.
Which is kind of awkward. So I could see like a split. I don't know if that split's correct, but I can definitely see the rationale behind a split.
Right. I guess your ideal scenario is having a tomb and a city, so you don't want to have 4 of one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just always I mean, this is, you know, me the beatdown player, and I understand it's correction control. When I see lists that have like 3 and 2 of similarly looking cards, I'm usually a little suspicious. Like, it gets an eyebrow raise out of me.
Yeah, with good reason, I feel.
Yeah. But
is that deck building actually correct?
But I understand in this case because both cards are bad to draw multiple copies of for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've had, you know, 7.5 minutes on camera so far. 30 seconds of which roughly were spent playing Magic.
See, both players are going to take a look at their opening 7 here. Joe again going to be on the play. First hand that he got perfectly reasonable. Just
had a Pierce and counterbalance. Jeez.
Yeah, just a
Brainstorm.
Yeah, perfectly reasonable hand.
All right, Joe is keeping. And it looks like Corbett is tanking here.
Should I kill him on turn 0 this time? Is there a way for I can do that? No, turn 1's okay. I'll keep.
It's going back.
Down to 6. It is a deck, however, that does mulligan quite well.
Yeah.
When you have Ponder, Preordain, and Brainstorm in your deck mulligans relatively well.
I mean, it's rough because some of his disruption is all this like Force of Will, Misdirection stuff, a couple pierces, but the mulligans make it a little bit harder for him to have a saturation of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if he needs a Force or a Misdirection to protect whatever his play is, plus the sufficient mana, plus whatever he's trying to put into play, I mean, the mulligans add up. I'm sure that there's a ton of matchups where Sink and Show mulligans and it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
But in matchups like Miracles or Rug, I think because of Force of Will and all the soft counters and stuff, the mulligans are a lot more punishing. Like, you can mulligan to 5 against me all day and it just doesn't matter.
Sure.
Sure. It doesn't,
We just need 2 more people to launch the next $10 draft, and 4 more people to launch
Corbett on
the next
6.
standard win box. If you're interested in either of these side events, come see me up on stage.
Looks like a keeper to me.
He has a Volcanic and a City of Trader, so I assume as long as the other 4 are passable. Joe with a Red Blast.
You see him get rid of that thing right away.
And he also showed a Seal of Cleansing as he was going through his deck.
So Joe is pretty aware of what Corbett is up to here.
Yep.
Joe, a very informed player on the Open Series.
Yep. Not the first time he's seen this. It actually would not surprise me if this is not his first time playing against Corbett in this matchup.
Yeah.
Given how often the two of them are at the same event.
Pew! Now, the interesting thing here is you see a Red Blast from Joe. It always makes me wonder, are you supposed to counter the, as we're going to see a Plains here, and a Sensei's Divining Top, are you supposed to counter the cantrips, or are you supposed to save that Red Blast for the Show and Tell battle, or the Force of Will battles?
The thing is, if Joe's hand is actually very soft to sneak attack, there might not be a Force of Will battle at all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a couple things. It depends what his mana usage wants to be like. It also depends if he has Snapcaster Mage in his hand, because if he has Snapcaster, that's definitely an argument for just firing it off.
As we are going to see a Show and Tell here again from Corbett. And another attempted Red Blast. It's good. Okay.
So we're going to top, looking at Jace, Basic Island, and another, is that a Divine Top or an Entreat? I can't.
It could be a Terminus as well. Can't quite make it out. Either way, he's going to be taking the land for the turn. He did top just on his upkeep there. And we're going to see a second Sensei's Divining Top.
The second one, some degree worse than the first.
Some would say.
Some would argue.
All right, here we go.
Attention players in, $10
Corbett is going to
is ready up here at the stage.
sacrifice a Scalding Tarn, search out a land, likely a Volcanic, which we will see.
See, this is what I was talking about, why I like the Red Blast on the Ponder there. If he has Sneak Attack here, that Red Blast would just be in your hand,
Sure.
and you would die. So at least by firing off on the Ponder, he's minimizing the likelihood that Corbett can go down that road.
Sure. And you said that Joe does have a Seal Cleansing in his hand?
In his deck. We saw it in the
okay.
deck.
Because now we're going to see a Sneak Attack here.
And Terminus, not a great answer to Sneak Attack. Can be good against Show and Tell, but Jace and a red card? Is that a Pyroblast?
Pyroblast. And if you can see Corbett's hand right now, it has 2 Emrakuls and a, a Misdirection. So Joe is in a rough spot here.
He is in a whale of pickle.
A whale of pickle.
Not.
Now what's interesting is that Joe is like covered against
so
one,
many stuff.
Yeah, against like one big dude, but not the second one, as the third card is
Glacial Fortress.
Glacial Fortress.
So he can basically top on Corbett's turn and show Terminus, but I don't know if he can answer the second one.
The second one,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we had to put Terminus on top, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to leave Terminus on top, try to catch the first one, and then he's going to catch it.
Attention Magic players, if you signed up for $10 draft number 4, your event is ready up here at the stage.
I would be very frustrated if I was Joe. But
I'm inclined to agree. I don't know what that next card was.
Is that another Emrakul?
Up here at the stage.
And this is where the declare attackers thing is really nice.
No.
This is where this is a pretty awesome feature that the deck has. You have to respond to Emrakul before he goes into attacks, and so you have a chance to sneak attack again.
Yep.
Sorry, Joe, you did everything you could.
Yeah, Corbett says, no problem. How about another one? May I attack, sir?
You brew a bunch of red blasts.
Yeah, jeez. Jeez.
Not a bad mulligan. That was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You can see that Joe's a little bit frustrated. Corbett's saying, yeah, I drew really well both games.
Bunch of red. I mean, yeah.
But
Turn 1'd him and then, turn 3'd him through 2 red blasts on a mulligan.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
With the pounder countered,
Yeah.
so he didn't even get to do like any manipulating and set anything up. It's just like this. Yep.
These are the cards in my hand. Oh, you have a Terminus. That's fine. Second Emrakul.
Yeah.